Hi guys, and welcome to another Whisky Geek review with me, Ben. Today I'm sampling a Glendronach whisky. Now Glendronach is a brand which is pretty well trusted within whisky communities, even developing a little bit of a cult following. It was mothballed back in 1996 and then production resumed in 2002, so it had a bit of a quiet period. In 2008, the distillery was purchased by Billy Walker, and the following year he completely relaunched the core range, the 12, 15 and the 18-year-old whiskies. Now he built a pretty strong reputation with Glendronach for a reputable and respectable single malt whisky, but in 2017 it was sold on to new ownership, Brown-Forman, which is a massive American-owned spirits and wine company. And they have kind of made some choices recently which has begun to annoy the cult following, the Glendronach fans. Now if you look down here on this bottle, you can clearly see, or this packaging rather, non-chill filtered, natural colour. What we like to see. It's also a 46% and it's got an age statement, 8 years old. So a good presentation. But quite recently, Glendronach announced that they were taking this non-chill filtered label off of the packaging. And they've said that the reasoning for that was so that they had the flexibility. Basically, they wanted to choose to chill filter sometimes if they felt the batch needed to. And that has kind of got people's backs up because it's a step away from what Billy Walker did with the distillery and what a lot of people believe is the best thing for presenting a whisky. So this 8-year-old whisky is called the Hielan. The Hielan being a nod to how the localers don't bother to pronounce the D in Highland, they just say the Hielan. This is a Highland whisky. Glendronach, a lot of people consider them to be a Speyside, but they're actually about 5 miles outside of the borough of Speyside, so they're not, they're a Highland whisky. And this particular bottle was bought for me a few years ago by my brother as a birthday gift, I think it was. Now looking at the colour of this one, it is naturally coloured. It's about a shade 9 or Sertial Madeira. Have we got any info on the casks? Matured and married in a combination of the finest bourbon and sherry casks. That's interesting. Matured and married. So it's a good crisp gold. It's not particularly deep, but it's got a nice colour to it. Let's take a first whack at the nose. It's lovely and rich, it's creamy with some nice fruit, pears, peaches maybe, and baking spices, bit of demerara sugar. It's soft and sweet, and there's this kind of honeyed backdrop. Some wholesome cereals and dry straw, and that spiced warmth is accumulating quite nicely. And as you sit with it, there's this kind of developing walnut, kind of oily, fatty walnut on the back end. Let's take it onto the palate. It's got a nice mouthfeel, a nice texture. There's an oaky warmth, some spices and cinnamon developing. And then bubbling up in the background, there's some of those sweet tones, the honey, the fruits and raisins are bubbling up. Kind of sweet peaches developing into a dry grass, and then there's some faint banana and milk chocolate right in the background. Very pleasant and kind of shifting. There's layers to it and it's developing nicely. That spiced warmth carries through into the finish quite nicely, but it's joined with this kind of chili flake stringency, a little bit of a prickle there. The wood is definitely present, there's an oakiness to it, but it remains pleasant, it doesn't get overly bitter, it's not cloying in any way. It's got a medium length and that honeyed sweetness keeps trying to show its face, keeps trying to push its way forward, but it's restrained. So there are some kind of sour, lightly bitter elements there that could be hinting at its youth, but it's not cloying, it's not problematic to me. Now I've rated this one 82%. there's a lot of elements to it that kind of remind me of the Bunnahabhain Stewardar. This kind of sherried, youthful, bold, almost in your face character, but altogether very wholesome and pleasant. Really enjoying drinking this one. It's a whiskey that I'm going to be sad to see go. I'm getting close to the end of the bottle, and I would replace it if I could find anywhere that had it in stock. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this little whiskey review. If you have, please do feed the YouTube algorithm, like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Cheers.